Standing in front of the Carroll County Detention Center. CCDC is what they typically call it. It's owned by the county. Carroll County owns this jail. Recently there was a couple of charges with some inmates supposedly got brutal and the jailers had to beat them up. But I was in this jail and I know exactly how they act here. There's a guy in a Bulldogs hat. He was sitting there telling me to do every order in the book just so I could say no, and then he'd have every right to attack me.
I believe that if they had one here in Carrollton County, it could keep down some of the expenses because they charge $30 a day to house Carrollton County in Carroll County. But I was just housed there myself a week ago, and it cost me $184 just to be released.
It seems like it's just a big money game.
Well, basically, I think it is. I think the booking fees are way outrageous. When you walk in there, just $25 just to be fingerprinted.
And even though I was only in CCDC for a day, since 12 midnight to 12 noon, they went ahead and charged me $164.77. The Ramada charge is $85 for one whole night, and you get to stay in a bed. Complimentary breakfast in the morning. They say anything about my camera, I mean, they got lots of surveillance all around this place. So it'd be hypocritical of them to say I can't film when they're filming us.
Can we help you?
Yeah, absolutely. Who owns this jail?
Carroll County Kentucky.
Who's the current jailer right now?
That'd be me.
Oh, you got anybody running against you?
No, I don't.
I had the unfortunate, I guess, accident or whatever of staying here.
Yep.
And I didn't like the way I was treated. So I'm doing a story about the brutality that goes on in this jail.
Well, I'm going to ask you to leave the property.
Is it public property?
It's county-owned property.
So.
And I'm asking you to leave.
Right, but I'm allowed to be here.
I'm asking you to leave this property.
Right, okay. Well, that's good. That's good on the camera. And I'm going to stay right here on the street and still carry on because it's public road. Now, frankly, I think I should be allowed to stay right here.
That's fine. You can go right out to the street just like you said.
Okay. Well, kind of just shows you how it is. You know, they don't want anybody saying a word about what goes on in the jail.
You can say whatever you want. I'm just asking you to step off of the county property.
I ain't committing no crime.
I didn't say you was. At this point.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Now, I believe if you put that someplace and I don't give permission for it to be there, I believe that is a crime.
Yeah, well, whoever the current jailer was, he just go ahead and try to grab my camera and try to turn nothing into something. Just standing out in the parking lot and just talking. Am I not allowed to talk in America? But that just goes to show you there is brutality here in the jail. The guy tried to take my camera. He tried to rob me. So that turned out to be true. They're allowed to record everything that we do, but if you turn the cameras back on them, they get infuriated. You're not even allowed to put the camera on them, even though that this parking lot and this facility was made with taxpayer funds. I spoke with Jerry Webb, the current jailer of Carrollton County, about the prison situation that we have, and he said that it didn't look possible like we could get a new jail because it would have to go through the state, and the state would have to fund for a new jail maybe $8 million was the quote that he had said. And the reason why our jail currently is shut down is because about 14 years ago it wasn't up to code. So because it wasn't up to code, we had shut ours down, and that's why we outsource our torture to Carroll County Detention Center. I talked to John Peck about whether or not we need a new jail, and he said absolutely. And he even said that he would look for the funding to be able to build a new jail, which I think it's a good idea to have a jail here in the county. Not only so that the prisoners would be treated like human beings, but also because we would get tax revenues. The $164 that is going into Carroll County's pocket instead would actually go into Carrollton County's pocket.
Ronnie Smith, running for Carrollton County Sheriff on the Libertarian ticket. It's one of the things I think that the centralized government is trying to do. They're trying to separate the emotion from people in jail. If we had our own jail in our own county and the people that live in the county were working in the jail, they would have a little more respect for the people that are in the jail because they know them. They grow up with them. They go to school with them. Sure, it's just like Abu Ghraib. They send the prisoners to Abu Ghraib somewhere out of the way where nobody has to see it. Up here in the county, we don't see what they're doing to our people down there. And when they come back and say, oh, they beat me with a phone book and a flashlight, nobody believes them.
Right. So you're saying
they don't do that kind of stuff in
so you're
America.
saying this, right? You're saying the CCDC is outsourcing torture?
Yeah. You know, logically, you have to jump to that conclusion because that's exactly what has happened. You know, my buddy was arrested for absolutely nothing, just senseless. Right. They took him down there and beat the crap out of him because they treated him like a terrorist. Right. You know, and it's because they have no connection with him, no connection with the county, no connection with any families near him, no one that knows him. So do you think they have no problem beating the crap out of him?
Right. You think we need a jail here for?
We do, of course.
For our own criminals.
Of course. It doesn't have to be a great big one either. It's not that many people here. Right.
Main road CCDC 1015 times 1 mil. J5 2142. Show myself and J3 will be 98 from the SO 1015, one female en route to CCDC. J1 and J3 en route to CCDC 2239. En route to CCDC 1015 times 1 mil. J5 2247.